Hello, everybody. This is Stephen Renowitz, and we are doing the World Cup 2026 extra time group previews. We only have three left to do, so we are giving us Group J, giving you Group J today. Again, remember to like us on all of our social media platforms, or watch us on all of our social media platforms: YouTube, World Cup 2026 extra time; Instagram, WCE extra time. That's World Cup extra time. And then, of course, Facebook World Cup 2026 extra time. All right, so today is Group J. We only have three groups left to go. And this is what we like to call the A team group. Why is it the A team group? Because there's three countries with the letter A starting in their name in Group J, ironically enough. And then the fourth team is actually has the letter J at the beginning of their name. So with all of that said, in terms of letters, let's head into the teams. The first one is Argentina. I think you know them very well. They're looking to become the first team to go back to back World Cups for the first time in over half a century. Last time it happened was in 1962 with Brazil. Now Argentina looks to do that themselves in what will be Lionel Messi's very likely final World Cup. So Argentina again is third ranked. You still have to qualify for the World Cup, even if you win it all in 2022, which they did, but it wasn't too hard for them. They played 18 World Cup qualifiers in the last group of CONMEBOL. They won 12 of their 18. The only country that collected double-digit wins, 31 goals for, 10 against. They were just a beast. They've won the tournament three times. That would be 1978 and 1986 until they did it again in 2022. And they finished second three other times in 30, 90, and 2014. So they have had a big amount of success here and finally broke through in the Messi era back in 2022 in that great final against France. And you know how they started 2022? They lost their first game against Saudi Arabia. But then Poland, Mexico, Australia, Netherlands, Croatia, and then France to win the World Cup. So, how does Argentina look to respond and get back to the promised land? They're going to do it on a 4-3-3 formation. Possession is always going to be the key. Passing, stingy defense, team cohesion. Yes, they still depend on Messi about as much as anybody else that you could have, but when you have a team that has such a good supporting midfield and defense out there, even though Messi is still Messi, he's the one that's going to finish the job up front. And that's how they want to do it. And of course, this is Messi's final World Cup. He's been the captain for the last four. Got the Golden Ball in 2014, got the Golden Ball again in 2022. No one's ever done it twice. No one's ever done it twice. He has scored twice in the final last year against France. In this grouping between 2022 and 2026, he got his 100th international goal back in 2023 against Curacao. Argentina won Copa America in 2024 his second time, and Messi is now the most appeared capped player in Copa America history with 39. He has the most assists now in men's international football history as well. So that's what they're going to do. The other big thing on this team is their goalkeeper was one of the reasons why they won the World Cup in 2022, and that's Emiliano Dibu Martinez. He plays for Aston Villa, played every minute of the 2022 World Cup, won the Golden Glove for best goalkeeper. They made a critical, iconic save in the dying seconds of the final versus France to get us to extra time, to eventually get us to penalty kicks, which he was in there for. And even the French goalie, uh, Hugo Lloris, in that basically is a little controversial, tries to kind of psych out his opponents a lot, does Martinez in goal, but he gets the job done. He's one of the best goalies in the world. He is going to be a very huge key to Argentina trying to repeat in what would be a pretty decent Group J. And the teams around them are pretty damn good too. Let's start with one of the teams that will be competing with them who has a little bit of history themselves in this group. That's Algeria. They have not been in the World Cup though since 2014. So they've qualified five times for the World Cup in 1982, 86, 2010, and then in their best performance in 2014, they made it to extra time against Germany, the team that won the whole thing, but lost 2-1. The road to the World Cup was pretty easy, I would say. They only had one defeat in their qualifying rounds against Guinea back in June 2024. Every other nation in the 16 group that they were in was beaten home and away. 24 goals for 8 against. They got in after a 3-0 win over Somalia on the penultimate match day of qualifiers. So Algeria is here. They are kind of fun to watch, actually. They were fun to watch in 2014, and I like to see, and I'm going to be interested to see them again. They play a 4-2-3-1, stylus possession. They like to exert control over matches with the ball, attacking flares, what they do best. It's a gifted generation of Algerian soccer players, so you need to have it be in control. It could be slow at times, and that might not help when they have to adjust, but it's worked out pretty well for them, and they are looking to just continue a brand of success. It's really worked out this in the last decade for them, the two World Cup appearances in 2010 and 2014. Player to watch is a right winger from Al Ali, also in the Saudi League, called Riyad Mahrez. He captained Algeria in their 2019 Cup of Nations title with the decisive free kick in the semifinal, and he had big games in the influence in this 2026 World Cup. He played with Man City until 2023 and then went to the AFC Champions Elite with Al Ali. And he is one of the first players ever in that country's history and a lot of other countries' history to win European and Asian club titles. The goalie is an interesting story because it's a name that a lot of people will remember very much. Luka Zidane. That name is familiar. The 1998 World Cup winners, Zinedine Zidane of France, who also had his issues in 2016, in 2006 in the World Cup final against Italy. But he's played with this group since last October. He's won 6 caps, and he most likely will be the guy who will be in net for Algeria in this World Cup. Going to be very interesting to see what happens. He had that again, that severe concussion almost put him out for this World Cup, but it looks like he's back and he made the initial World Cup team. So wouldn't be surprised to see him make the final round of cuts, which happens, I think, this week actually. We're shooting us on May 31st. It happens on June 2nd. All right, the third team and the final group of the A's in this group is Austria. They are ranked 24th in FIFA. So around the same. We got a bunch of 20s in this group. Their record in the World Cup qualifiers was pretty damn good. This is a team that only won 6 out of their 8 games. Group was tame. That does have to say they only lost once. They lost 1-0 in Romania. But this is another team that you're going to be interested to see because they haven't competed in this tournament since 1998. Speaking of that French World Cup, Austria has qualified for the World Cup 8 times. They made it in 1950. They got a third place finish in 1954, and that's it. But it's a fun style that you're going to see. The formation is 4-2-3-1. It presses, but they are fast, rapid transitions, pressing machine, defensive intensity. Possible fatigue would be out of the way, but Red Bull Salzburg has been one of the teams out there that has always really been really good at what they do. And I think Austria wants to take from that. Their roster's familiarity kind of shows that, and that's going to be why it's going to be a very interesting road ahead. They're babies in Austria, but they really can make some noise if they work out. Speaking of, the player to watch is also a midfielder for Red Bull Leipzig by the name of Christoph Baumgartner. He was the Austrian Footballer of the Year in 2024. He was named for the Euro squad in 2021. He had the only goal for Austria, a 1-0 win against Ukraine, which helped Austria get to the knockout stages of the Euros for the first time ever. And then he had the fastest goal in the history of international football in a game against Slovakia in 2024 when he scored in 6 seconds. That he had the country's second goal in a 3-1 victory against Poland in the group stage. So he's really done some good things for Austria, and we'll see how it develops. The other player, the goalie to watch, is also plays for Red Bull Salzburg. Uh, and that is Alexander Schläger, who is the captain for the U21 team in 2019. Played in the deciding Euro qualifier, 2020 qualifier against North Macedonia. And he did have a knee injury this day that made him miss the Euro 2024. But he's looking to come back with a vengeance for this World Cup. And I think Alexander Schlager will be the guy who will at least start in net for Austria when they get into it. Okay, the last team up here is another team making their 2026 World Cup debut, and it is Jordan. Yes, the J in the group is Jordan. How did they get here? Well, they weren't flawless. They had 3 defeats in 16 matches that allowed it to book in North America. A 3-0 win over Oman was the decisive result. Their qualifying record was 8 wins, 3 losses, 5 draws in what is a kind of grueling Asian qualifying rounds. But they got here. Their preferred formation 3-4-3, counterattack. It can become a 5-4-1 when you're sitting deep to stifle superior opponents. Defends in numbers, defense with great enthusiasm. They're going to need to win games 1-0. And if they don't, they ain't winning. This is a team that does have a lot of I wouldn't say flaws, but a lot of ways where they're going to need things to break right. But we'll see how it happens with how their current form is going to be. Little is expected this team, but again, in a group where 32 teams are going to advance, anything is possible. Player to watch here is Musa Tamari. He is a right winger for Rennes in club season. He led the team to their first ever Asian Cup final in 2023 and has scored in many different plays. And in 2023, when he joined Montpellier in the French club, he became the first Jordan footballer ever to play in a top 5 European league. That, of course, being France, Italy, England, Germany, and Spain. So we'll see what happens. The goalie also has someone who's been around for a little while. That's Yazid Abu Laila, who currently plays with Al Hussein. It's been there since 2017. He played every game, every match in the 2023 edition of the Asian Cup as well. So we'll see what happens with that team in Jordan when we get to it. All right, group matches. Not a lot here. There's going to be a lot of first time meetings, but we start with them on June 16th. That is the first Tuesday of World Cup play. Argentina, Algeria will play at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Argentina has faced Algeria only once. It was a 4-3 friendly win in 2007. At midnight, the first meeting ever between Austria and Jordan. That's in San Francisco. We go back in June 22nd. That's the first month. That's the second Monday of the tournament. Argentina, Austria play at Arlington in AT&T Stadium. A lot of these matches are at night. This is the only one that's actually in the afternoon. They met all in friendlies. The last time that they met, that was back in 1990 with a 1-1 draw. Jordan and Austria back in Santa Clara is the nightcap. They have also met 3 times, most recently in 2004, a 1-1 draw and friendly. Finally, the last group of games was a late night one, I believe on the last day of World Cup. I think they're the last group to actually go. They both play at 10 o'clock. It'll be Algeria and Austria. They played in 1982's FIFA World Cup, 2-0 group stage victory. And then Jordan and Argentina finish it in Dallas. Okay. Group predictions here really quick. I do like Argentina to be first because I think they're just the class of the group. I don't see Messi going down like that in his last World Cup. I do think there is going to be a little bit of jockeying for position. They're not easily winning this group at all. They didn't really easily win in 2022. Why would they do it in 26? I'm going to have Algeria second, just based on experience. Austria is going to be third for me, and Jordan's going to be fourth. So it's literally the order that I just read it because I just think that Austria. I don't want to always like favor the European teams a lot in here, and I do think Austria does have. I think every team here outside of Argentina has flaws. So this is an interesting group. I think this group does get three teams into the round of 32. But if I had to go with it, I'm going to go Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. We only have two groups left in our World Cup preview. So Group K and Group L will be up next. Remember to check our Instagram, World Cup 2026, WCE Extra Time, Facebook, World Cup 2026 Extra Time, YouTube, World Cup 2026 Extra Time. My name is Steven Rabinowitz. Thank you for watching.